We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. Enlightenment is man's release from his self-incurred tutelage. Tutelage is man's inability to make use of his understanding without direction from another. Self-incurred is this tutelage when its cause lies not in lack of reason, but in lack of resolution and courage to use it without direction from another. Sapere aude. Have courage to use your own reason. That is the motto of enlightenment. Look closely, the beautiful may be small. I had to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe, the more often and the more intensely the mind of thought is drawn to them: the starry heavens above me and the moral law within me. Dare to think. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. Rules for happiness: something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. For peace to reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. Seek not the favor of the multitude, it is seldom got by honest and lawful means, but seek the testimony of the few, and number not voices, but weigh them. Genius is the ability to independently arrive at and understand concepts that would normally have to be taught by another person. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. Laziness and cowardice are the reasons why so great a portion of mankind, after nature has long since discharged them from external direction, nevertheless remains under lifelong tutelage, and why it is so easy for others to set themselves up as their guardians. It is so easy not to be of age. If I have a book which understands for me, a pastor who has a conscience for me, a physician who decides my diet, and so forth, I need not trouble myself. I need not think if I can only pay, others will easily undertake the irksome work for me. That the step to competence is held to be very dangerous by the far greater portion of mankind. The death of dogma is the birth of morality. But only he who, himself enlightened, is not afraid of shadows. Space and time are the framework within which the mind is constrained to construct its experience of reality. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. Have patience a while, slanders are not long-lived. Truth is the child of time, ere long she shall appear to vindicate thee. Dare to know, have the courage to use your own intelligence. If the truth shall kill them, let them die. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. Man must be disciplined, for he is by nature raw and wild. Treat people as an end and never as a means to an end. Have the courage to use your own reason. That is the motto of enlightenment. New prejudices will serve as well as old ones to harness the great unthinking masses. For this enlightenment, however, nothing is required but freedom, and indeed the most harmless among all the things to which this term can properly be applied. It is the freedom to make public use of one's reason at every point. But I hear on all sides, do not argue. The officer says, do not argue but drill. The tax collector, do not argue but pay. The cleric, do not argue but believe. Only one prince in the world says, argue as much as you will and about what you will, but obey. Everywhere there is restriction on freedom. How then is perfection to be sought? Wherein lies our hope, in education and in nothing else. Law and freedom without violence, anarchy. Law and violence without freedom, despotism. Violence without freedom and law, barbarism. Violence with freedom and law, republic. The touchstone of everything that can be concluded as a law for a people lies in the question whether the people could have imposed such a law on itself. In all judgments by which we describe anything as beautiful, we allow no one to be of another opinion. Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-incurred immaturity. Morality is not properly the doctrine of how we may make ourselves happy, but how we may make ourselves worthy of happiness. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. Only the descent into the hell of self-knowledge can pave the way to godliness. An action to have moral worth must be done from duty. The people naturally adhere most to doctrines which demand the least self-exertion and the least use of their own reason, and which can best accommodate their duties to their inclinations. To be is to do. But although all our knowledge begins with experience, it does not follow that it arises from experience. Nature is beautiful because it looks like art, and art can only be called beautiful if we are conscious of it as art, while yet it looks like nature. It was the duty of philosophy to destroy the illusions which had their origin in misconceptions, whatever darling hopes and valued expectations may be ruined by its explanations. Without man and his potential for moral progress, the whole of reality would be a mere wilderness, a thing in vain, and have no final purpose. Dignity is a value that creates irreplaceability. Simply to acquiesce in skepticism can never suffice to overcome the restlessness of reason. The hand is the visible part of the brain. The whole interest of my reason, whether speculative or practical, is concentrated in the three following questions. What can I know? What should I do? What may I hope? Better the whole people perish than that injustice be done. War seems to be ingrained in human nature, and even to be regarded as something noble to which man is inspired by his love of honor, without selfish motives. Woman wants control, man wants self-control. Give me matter, and I will build a world out of it.